Happy New Year, everyone. So, what we're going to do is just have a quick look at the newspapers, see what they're trying to tell us and which way they want us to think. So, I'm going to cover The Guardian and The Mirror together, mainly because they're discussing the issue of Keir Starmer and the fact that his leadership is being questioned and his longevity as the Labour leader and in turn Prime Minister for the UK. So his the main aim is talking about whether about the fact that he wants to push an agenda that will actually see people's lives touched by the changes that he had promised to bring in place. I must say that it has been quite disappointing to see how the Labour government has wallowed in not being able to vocally and visibly deliver things that would make tangible changes in people's lives, despite what is the significant majority in Parliament. So the headlines in those two papers are focused on whether Keir Starmer will be capable to essentially make it through the year and his aspirations to turn things around for his government. The Daily Mail um, is trying to make you to get worried about digital IDs for babies. Just to bring some sensibility into this discussion, I would direct you to look at the Children's Wellbeing and Education Bill that is currently going through Parliament, Section 16LB, which talks about assigning children a unique identifier for purposes of safeguarding. So my reading of it is that there isn't anything sinister here. It is being able to give an anonymized identifier for children so that when different agencies that have to deal with that child, such as a GP, the NHS, the police, the local council, and so on, they do not have to have in their records the name of a child. So, not really sure where the Daily Mail is trying to go with this. I'll read it as being more of trying to get people upset at the introduction of digital IDs when this is not something that is in any way related to digital IDs, but specifically setting up an identifier that will allow children to be provided services by different agencies. The Independent headline is around the HS2 and the waste of money that was spent on purchasing properties along routes that had already been cancelled. For those of you who don't know, HS2 was supposed to be a transformative project to deliver high-speed railway services connecting London to the north, the UK. It's just been fumbled by the conservative government, under the conservative government, with cost overruns and delays. And at the moment, the service has now been reduced into something that is not really going to get into inner London and just stop at Birmingham. Cost a lot of money and has been further delayed. So it was, I think, originally intended to be opened by around 2030. Over the last week or so, they've announced that this is not going to happen. So much for the hundreds of billions of pounds, I would suspect, at this point, that have been spent on that project. The Daily Telegraph is headlining the issue that's going on at the moment with Shamima Begum, the child, now adult, who left the UK to go and live in Syria, and she was stripped of her citizenship. So the Strasbourg court has made a ruling that has castigated the UK government for stripping her of her citizenship. So the Labour government is going to challenge this decision. They also touch on the fact that EV chargers rollout seems to be slowing down. I haven't read the detail of the story, but I suspect that this is in part due to the shifting or the changes in government policy as pertains to the the ending of sales of internal combustion engines or vehicles with internal combustion engines. Um, the Times discusses things relating to sand, so spending on special education needs children, as this cost has ballooned, and it is something that has really hit Reform UK in the backside, because they have gone into councils and found that they've got obligations that they must meet, a large chunk of this pertaining to sand provision, and they have been unable to make the cuts that they promised, and they've actually been threatening to reduce the services pertaining to send services. We then have the eye talking about cold weather snap coming, and the Daily Express touching on the matter of assisted dying and petitioning, basically trying to encourage people to contact their MPs or to write to the Lords, asking them not to shield the passing of this bill. So that's a quick roundup of the newspapers for the 1st of January 2026.